The Instagram's been dry for a while, but not my game. Quoting Alex Williams, is he my mentor? Well, if flattery is the most sincere form of mimicking, or if mimicking, copying, is the most sincerest form of flattery, then I got the quote right. My IG's been dry for a while, but not my game. Repurposing into this comedy, which is my IG has been wet for a while. You should not slide in. My IG's been wet for a while. And you should get a cowboy hat. My IG has been wet for a while. Skip DMs and just text me using AI to find my phone number. Good morning. It's June 11, and we get to spend time together in a contextually positive kind of way during these crazy, crazy times. Have times and days always look like this? No, it's the fourth turning if you're into reading history on pattern recognition. Let's say that this is your new normal, which it is. Let's be positive in hanging out mano a mano from a comedic standpoint where 100% of this information is true. Not to my knowledge. It's just true, period, because that's where we are with BS everything. Fake food, mushy food that we buy that's expensive and bad. Fake food. Fake money that people print out of thin air. Fake friends? Question mark. I don't know if they're fake friends because it feels like they're real friends. But potentially having people faking a friendship. Fake time. When time isn't real, we are not able to properly invest time, obviously not being able to invest money. Why? Because the people who get the greatest returns, they're not people who do analysis on, hey, this could be valuable in the future. They're brokering on inside information. So that's why I came up with a way to be time flow positive in the time that we spend together via stand up comedy. So that way there's never any pressure to learn, there's never any onus or burden to perform because we're just hanging out friend to friend. We're just hanging out as potentially your first Chinese friend. We're just in the company of each other while laughing at things that are 100% true. Let's jump into networking parties and the comedic material that helps with building up going to a networking party. Holly says hi. Hi, Holly. How are you? Sir Brick also chimes in saying hola. Que tal? I think those are the ni hao. Oi, Javine. I'm up to 5 languages. I must be a polyglot or a polymath. Networking parties where we show up hoping to get a job? Question mark. Hoping for some near-term, short-term benefit. Happy. Where instead of that time preference, this is the comedy of going to a networking function, dropping jokes that are 100% real while doing a little bit of preparation for what the networking party's host was hoping to get from a return on investment standpoint. You jumped into stand up comedy. New episodes drop Wednesday, good morning, and Mondays. If subscribing to content that is positive, funny, and useful every time, 40% of the time, maybe you want to join up. Subscribers, welcome back. I am honored that you choose to spend attention here, and your laughter energy powers your brain and my brain's healing from an ADHD focus standpoint, because we can all do a little bit better exercising our brain. Networking as a pastime, networking as an essential skill that's undiscovered. This is why. Susan Moran wrote a book called How to Work a Room, and that book has served me well. Why? Because instead of a take first mindset, Mary Dickens, hello, how are you? I'm Larry Cheng. It's nice to meet you. Feels like I know all of my subscribers, and I don't know you yet, so welcome. In How to Work a Room, you're not just going into a room and squeezing it for information. You're not squeezing it for job leads or instant revenue. When you go with a me first attitude, you're going to be shunned. When you go to work a room without properly seeing the room, what the kids are saying, read the room. That's where that colloquial axiom, idiom comes from, is read the room. Read the room, which is going first to give or at least pay attention. Maybe you don't have a whole lot to give as far as, oh, this is a great solution, this is what you should do. Just being able to be like that cool kid 2.0. Hi, do you like how I work in your comments and username into my stand-up content? That's 100% real and 100% truthful. Reading the room with paying attention and listening versus entering a group of 3 people that are clustered speaking, needing to introduce yourself. Before the introduction, pre-intro, people give value. We also see this on YouTube, where we jump in to the valuable component of what the video is about, where you don't know who the 2 speakers are, or your YouTube influencer that you're subscribed to is interviewing somebody, and that person that they're interviewing, you don't know, but they're dropping knowledge bombs that are useful. That's what you want to facilitate with saying, oh, don't ask for my name first. I want to hear the rest of that because I was really interested. So you're creating attention in a positive way where you're like, oh, I'll introduce myself later. Continue with where you're going because that's what caught my ear. And that's how you go from cluster to cluster solo. So you're attempting to delve into other people's conversations, being a value added interrupter. If you and I want to study buddy this, that last 2 minutes was incredibly valuable because it allows you to network via listening. It allows you to connect with people and LinkedIn connect with people prior to even giving your full name. This is a wet, my IG's been wet for a while, so has my game. That's the repurposing of Alex Williams, who you don't know, which is my IG's been dry for a while, but my game hasn't. That's Alex Williams, Stanford baseball alumni, doing well in professional baseball. It applies to here where the room's been dry for a while because you haven't been able to extract value from a room. The room's been dry for a while These are wet techniques for us to lubricate the connections and the trade of information along with being commercial. Yes, making money, but the lubrication of API swaps. Because what is your brain right now on YouTube? It's connecting to my brain here also on YouTube. And yes, I read the comments, and yes, I API the comment that you say into stand up comedy in the same way that I would eat at Evia and say, Virginia, thanks for toasting my bread. Hey, Virginia, we should go do a three-way to a concert that's impossible to get into. That's the conjoining of ideas. That's why I start the clipboard with five-way. Everyone thinks five-way is a three-way plus two. No, 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 no. A five-way is us taking notes in a room where there could be an existing four-person conversation. That'd be a four-way. And then add in you. Old you would be intimidated to jump into a conversation with four people. New you sees a people of four people talking, taps two of the people, they make a little space for you, and then you say, oh, I don't mean to interrupt, keep going with what you're saying, I'm interested in hearing it. That's the five-way component where you identify an existing four-way. This is how most people think a five-way gets up and going. They think that it starts with a one-on-one two-way, and then maybe a person joins, but that third person, they don't want to join your two-way. They don't, which is why your two-way is stuck at a two-way. When have you interrupted a two-way walking in and becoming the third wheel? They have a saying for that in dating. It's called the third wheel. Am I using AI to turn around Bumble that's currently at $5.80 per share, making the whole entire company not even $760 million? How can you even be a billionaire when your whole company is worth less than you, right? Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, founder in danger. Now, founder turning around the company, enter Larry Chang, where I insert myself into Bumble, doing a turnaround. What if five-way, which is our YouTube effort, now a nine-way, what if we applied comedic content to Bumble in doing a turnaround? Because remember, today is June 11th, and it's 2025, and Bumble, the company, is worth under $800 million. I'm not going to rip Bumble stuff off the wall, but what I will do is talk about the transition from networking to turnarounds. Because why am I so enthusiastic about being on these live streams? It's because of 10 people that tune into a live stream, one or two will be catalyzed, triggered, motivated to rewatch a video to turn around their current circumstance. Does this cost money? No. Is there a supplemental workshop? No. Is there an AI component that's free? Yes. You're on Google Gemini and you don't even know it. So then you ask Google Gemini, hey, how can I use this Larry Chang video to sell my first thing? How can I market my first Shih Tzu for $270,000? How do I engineer up some serendipity for myself? Am I intimidated by this first video? Or there's a safety in numbers where you can find one good friend, dare I say best friend, and we could study buddy this together. Is this starting up a three-way study group? It is. Is this like book club for a video? Yeah. Because what is an old styled, old fashioned, retro book club? It works like this. Somehow you get 15 to 20 people together and you somehow pick one book, big challenge, big challenge. Now you meet Tuesdays. Half the people don't read the book, and during book club, 80% of the time is spent by people talking that have never read the book. Did I just also explain how critics summarize and critique a book by also not reading the book? Yeah. You think the food is fake or the friends or the money's fake, book club is even more fake. That's okay. This is a solution. We can do a book club mano a mano. But let's say that that's a little too intimidating because you don't want to email Larry at duck9.com. Larry like Larry Chang, duck, rubber duck, 9, duck9.com. Let's study buddy book club a video where all we're doing is studying one video to be, hey, this video seems interesting. I want to delve further into it. Remember, we're talking about networking and we're connecting in a network. Maybe you didn't even think that you're networking. This is how I do networking. Let me show you a real example, and maybe that will stimulate you to grab a pen to understand this dynamic, which is this. Later on, there's going to be an MCP AI meetup, and the models that are going to be discussed are costly because there's free food and free drink. Why? Because VCs love throwing money at AI startups. This is 3 emerging AI startups that are hosting in a really nice restaurant. Now, most people are going to just show up and say, what free stuff can I get? What cool people might I meet? Famous people. Going with that attitude is okay, or people that are just filled with gratitude, happy to have been invited, or happy to have been invited as a +1 because it's surprisingly welcoming, even though the audience level is sophisticated. That's normal, okay? That lays the groundwork for how most people do it. This is how you might do it if you're study buddying this video, which is prepare and prompt yourself prior to the party. That alliteration is accidental, but it's awesome because you're prompting your brain with the question of who spent $50,000 for this party and what are they hoping to get out of it? Because if you used AI to write this is how I'm prompting my own brain in attempting to prepare to attend Parkside, now you're the only person who's published a pre-blog. Someone asked me, Larry, does anybody even blog anymore? Oh yeah, that is a ginormously awesome knowledge nugget, and you should treasure that. Because somebody actually made fun of me for blogging. A web blog is scorned upon as old school. But what do you think AI is powered on? What's the moat that protects AI? It's data. It's curated data. It's blog articles because social media needs permissions to enter and scrape. This is why Grok itself can't scrape X. This is why Gemini AI is now only beginning to crawl their own YouTube content. Because right now, X is having a hard time reading their own hashtags, and Gemini is having a hard time with understanding YouTube transcripts. And Google is YouTube, is Gemini, is Google I/O May 17 to May 19, 2025, which felt like a year ago, but it was less than a month ago. How does this benefit you? Is while you're prompting, hey, AI, what do I need to do to prepare for Parkside? What should I anticipate learning? This is what you're doing by asking AI, and then AI gives it to you, and then you publish it using email publish post, where all you're doing is paste copying it into an email and then sending it into your web blog or your blog. This is the easiest thing that takes less than 3 minutes to do to help someone else with $50,000 of ROI. Why? Because press and positive press drives. Look at what I used as my YouTube flagship video. It's an embarrassing video of me on TV in Hawaii. I'm not from Hawaii. I'm from the mainland. And I look ridiculous. Why is that video valuable? Because it's the flagship video for what people need to think about, which is we are the press now. We are the social media, but social media is hidden behind a wall. And this isn't a rant. This is an information dump within stand-up comedy. Why? Because you're going to be laughing your way to better and better events that you get invited to, even though you might be not qualified to attend these events. By learning and taking notes at these events, what happens is we get invited to better and better and better events. 200 IQ says hi. You're in the perfect room, buddy. What you want to do with those 200 IQ points is set aside 120 of those IQ points, maybe 112 of those IQ points. And we operate with 88 IQ points. Why are we doing that? Because at 200 IQ, we're going to be intimidating a lot of people. At 200 IQ, we're not going to be able to write things down in your face, I'm listening and paying attention. In your periphery, I am showing you that I'm listening so well that I'm actually taking notes. Because with a 200 IQ, as you post your username and a comment, and I work it into stand-up comedy. When you have a 200 IQ, you end up being able to memorize everything that every person says. And worse, if you've got a 200 IQ and you don't memorize what people say, now people are like going to ask you, are you actively trying to not remember what I'm saying? Are you actively trying to discount? Are you purposefully trying to mitigate the importance of these words? Whereas if you had an IQ operating at 88, now you're killing it, right? And now you're making in-game adjustments. Because remember, my IG game is wet, and our operational IQ is at 88. Tap yourself on the back and say, good job. Also, reach out to me because I'm impressed by you. I consent to you to text my real phone number when you use Gemini to say, hey, what's Larry Chang's real cell phone number? And then we can connect. What are we connecting over? We're connecting over another example, which is going to be incredibly useful, dare I say profitable, cost $0. There's no workshop. There's no supplemental VIP mastermind, there's only this, which is information via stand-up comedy in episode 1452. Killing this stand-up routine. We should study buddy this video after you watch this video 3 more times, which is this. June 15 and June 16. This is AI intelligence, Asian intelligence at the IQ 88 level. It's simultaneously dumber than you and smarter than you. June 15 and June 16. What's happening then, Larry? There's this guy. His name is Gary Tan. He started an email publish post business called Posterous. He sold it to Twitter, now called X, and then started another company after the non-compete ended called Postly. He sold that company because he's a VC, and he keeps on doing the same thing. Email publish post, email publish post. How does email publish post help for you? You're going to use AI to say, hey, what's Larry Chang talking about when he's talking about June 15 and June 16 for AI Startup School by Y Combinator, Gary Tan. Same Asian guy, which is, what should I expect? What should I pay attention to? You might want to write those 2 questions down because I ripped it directly from Brendan Bouchard. I met him before he became a superstar. What to pay attention to, what to expect, June 15. On June 16, what to pay attention to and what to expect. Using AI to ask the questions that allow us to experience June 15 and June 16 for a second time when we actually show up live. How is the first time that we're going to experience it? By reading your web page, by reading a web blog. No, don't post it to LinkedIn. Post it to LinkedIn after you Posthaven post it. Now, Posterous, Postly, Posthaven. Am I stuttering or staccato bursting the same email publish post concept from the person running AI Startup School? Which is, do you have a website? Most people don't. That's step 0, which is you're APIing into a startup school where Sunrise Videos, my IG game is wet. Ditto my YouTube Gemini game via AI Startup School. That comedic concept you'll laugh at when you watch this video. I give you consent to edit my video. The reason that's funny now is I know that you'll rewatch this video and then laugh because it's so easy. This is why Math Class Before Math Class is my pinned post on X, which is, you think Chinese people showing up at math class is just magically Chinese people being awesome at math. Whereas there are things that are further from the truth, but the truth of the matter is so basic, which is, this is not my first math class. This is not my first YouTube stand-up comedy episode 1452. This is not my first rodeo. Booyah! My IG game is wet. Ditto Ed Chen, Bruce Wang, Larry Chang. Is this the first time that Larry Chang has turned around a company called GameStop by investing 4,710 Bitcoin? I begged Larry Chang, C-H-E-N-G, from Larry Chang, C-H-I-A-N-G. We even look the same, where how are you so slow to adopt a Bitcoin treasury? How are you so slow with me doing EP 1452 a bazillion times, showing you, hey, this is how networking works. Hey, currently you might be multitasking, Why don't you focus on these words for the next 3 minutes? Don't even invite one of your friends in because screw them. You get the benefit. Let's go. June 15 and June 16, you don't even need to go to San Francisco because the internet connects us to San Francisco YC, Y Combinator. It is connected like this. What to pay attention to at YC Startup School. Write that down. It'll benefit you greatly. IQ 88 from IQ 200. By the way, congrats on listening so well. What to pay attention to, Startup School for AI, June 15. Today is only June 11. 5 minutes allocated goes like this. AI, Grok 3, Gemini, Anthropic, whatever. What should I expect for AI Startup School, June 15? What should I expect? Because guess what? Every startup school builds on itself. Has there been a prior startup school? Yes. Build upon that by writing an article that AI writes for you. What I learned June 15th, I learned using AI June 11, today. Do you see how you throw that into AI and you get a well-prompted question yields a highly valuable response? Here's another question to ask AI should you want to show off, which is, what would Larry Chang's keynote be at AI Startup School hosted by Y Combinator? That would be me. What would I keynote on for, what would my keynote be? Because then you're getting content that they don't teach you at Stanford Business School. Specifically, that's a riff in comedy, in the same way that I said, my IG's been wet for a while. Slide into Alex Williams' DMs because he had a really good day and he said on Instagram, my IG's been dry for a while, but my game's been wet. Here, we can ask AI, what would Larry Chang keynote at Stanford Engineering? Oh, well, there's about 5,000 videos on that. Literally, what would Larry Chang keynote at YC? What should I be paying attention to at YC AI Startup School? When you ask AI that, they're going to give you genius things. And so it gives you 10 or 15 paragraphs. You skim read. Me, I speed read that content. I press copy text, and then I publish it via email. So I copy the text from my AI app. Pick whatever AI app you want. I copy text and I paste it into email. So after it's pasted into email, I email, publish, post it, kind of like the president of YC with 3 entities: Posterous, Postly, Posthaven. Let me repeat those because those are not pedantic. They almost sound like the same word. It's the same company iterated at 50 million, 30 million, 500 million, approximately. It's basically millions and millions for email, publish, post. Posterous, Postly, Posthaven. What you're doing, and I'll even publish it for you to make it easy, so you paste copy what you crawled on AI by asking AI, hey, what should I be paying attention to for YC AI Startup School? AI gives you 12 paragraphs. You copy all the text, select all, and then you put it into your email app. You email me, Larry@duck9.com, and I'll publish it for you. How beneficial is that? It's super beneficial because now you've published your first weblog. And now we're email publish posting something to Duck9. And then after you see the value of, oh my God, I've just published 2 articles at Duck9 by emailing Larry@duck9.com. Duck like a river duck, 9 and the number 9. And so by email publish posting to an email address, later you set up another email address that publishes to your own webpage if you see that this is valuable. This is a way that you would invest less than 5 minutes. Is this time flow positive? Yes. Is this energy flow positive? Because you allocated 6 minutes dipping in and out of this stand-up session, and you were surprised that this is so valuable. That's the call to action, which is use AI to prompt and question, hey, what am I looking forward to within YC AI Startup School? What to pay attention to, what to expect. That's the question part of PQRST. Do you like the nasal breathing? That was blatant. James Nestor, breathe. R, read. So when you question AI, now you've got to read what they send back. Summarize. Well, AI already summarized it for you. T, test. There is no test. It's just winning because you're publishing pre-content info. Do you like the energy? It's awesome, isn't it? What we can do when you study Buddy a future video is you go buy a cowboy hat. Thank you for the compliments. You go buy a cowboy hat, and that is your thinking cap. So whenever you're doing these kind of activities, put on a ridiculous cowboy hat, and then now say, okay, let's study Buddy this comedy set. Because look, you guys are comedians or have always thought, oh, wouldn't it be great if I did stand-up comedy? Let me steal some jokes. These are the jokes to steal, kids. These are the jokes. So maybe stealing tall Chinese cowboy comedy jokes won't exactly work because delivery matters, mechanism matters. But guess what? You can apply these same things when you're being entrepreneurial with your artist comedian journey, with your artist's pages, with your morning pages, with your comedic writing day-to-day, moments to moments, where you have a comedy journal that you are the writer of your own destiny. Are we stepping towards a new destiny with Joe Dispenza type of stuff? Yeah. Would you ask AI to say, hey, Joe Dispenza speaking, hey, Joe Dispenza speaking, August 2nd to August 9th, what should I be paying attention to? What should I be expecting? That's us here with AI Startup School. That's us here with Dave Asprey's Beyond, which is May 27 to 29. That's us hanging out at Bitcoin, which is April 27 to 29, 2026. That's also the Super Bowl that's happening February 6th, 2026. All these calendar dates knowledge activate that you want to take math class before math class. So that way you can don a cowboy hat and say, not my first rodeo, because you already aced AI Startup School. That's June 15 and June 16. You guys, it's been terrific spending energy in helping you make energy, as this video on a second watch is going to be time flow positive with pen and paper. What's time flow positive? You chip in 40 minutes and you get 3x your 40 minutes. Wednesdays and Mondays, I drop new episodes. Let's connect again. Terrific to hang out with you. Love you guys.